Hey, okay, good. I'm waiting to see. Okay, the audience is being built. We got less than 4 minutes. Last week when I did glue, good. Hey, Kevin, what's happening? Good. Last week when I did Glue Wednesday, I don't know what I did or what I did not do, but it did not. It did not populate. Hey, Charity. All right. See you in a couple. Hey, Nicole. Hey, what's up? Coming in from Memphis. But last week when I did Glue Wednesday, for some reason it did not allow people to come on live while I was on Facebook Live. So I was on Facebook uh, Eyes. Okay. But it turned out to be a good lesson for me because it gave me the opportunity to show that you, as a speaker, or whatever you're doing in your life, you maintain your energy. If you have a passion about something, you maintain your energy. We always hear that cliche about, speak with the same energy, regardless if it's one person or 100 or 1,000. I got the chance to do that last week, so I thank technology. I always laugh because I always say that I'm technologically functional, not literate. And I don't have a problem with what I don't know about technology. I enjoy learning it. And so last week I had a chance to do that, and I enjoyed watching the video because I was trying to figure out how to get it to post. And in the process of doing, I got a chance to really watch it and evaluate myself, because we always want to do something to self-evaluate. I'm not that always not that concerned about what someone else thinks of me. We always say that, and then we turn to look and hope somebody agrees with the fact that we said that. But it is important to do a lot of self evaluation and introspection. So I got to do that last week. So this time looks like I'm not going to have to do that. I've got all of you people coming in, so I can do some shout outs. I already hit Kevin and Charity and Nicole. And yeah, good to see you again, Kevin. Yeah, how's everything up there in the that was a great experience for me, by the way, going up into Montana, the Pacific Northwest. And hey, Latasha, going way south. That's my girl out there in Charleston. Good to see you. Jamie, home. What's that? Jamie, you didn't answer my text about, we got less than a minute. You didn't answer my text about if we're going to play fantasy. So check that again, okay? And yeah, Nicole, yeah, good. You need that for the tree that your daughter is doing and everything. Amy, always good to see you. You know, you and I are family. We've done some traveling together and had some great experiences. We got less than a minute to go to start, rather, and so that's what we're going to do is talk about some glue. Talk about some Glue Wednesday. Let me reposition this just a little and let it bounce back. There we go. All right. Well, the reason I reposition that, by the way, is one of the things I always say is, oh, obviously I don't always say it. I can't remember it. No, but it's so important that we, if you're going to be in the speaking business, for instance, but whatever business you're in, or whatever career focus you have, is be about who you are. So whenever I do these Glue Wednesdays, I've got pretty much everything packaged into the deal. My topic today is smile. So what have I got on? I've got on a smile t-shirt. See, always be about the package of who you are. And if you're passionate about it, you won't have a problem with it. There's a true saying that actually former President Obama made when he was given the Medal of Honor to, gosh, I can't remember the guy's name because it just came to me, but he was one of our, he's lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. He got the Medal of Honor maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and he wears a bracelet that has the fallen comrades who he served with on his wrist, and he says it reminds him of those people that he fought with and that he survived through. But meanwhile, what the comment that Obama made to him was, he said, we all wear a piece of the war. We all wear a piece of the war. And I changed that when I was speaking to one of my military audiences, and I changed that to saying we all wear a piece of life. Because there's something that you wear that reminds you to enjoy your life. I wear this necklace. It actually reminds me of one of my brothers that died, Landy. You know, this was the thing that he said to me, because we were blessed that he was in failing health and knew that he was in critical condition, and he asked me, he said to me, I want you to have this necklace. So, think about what it is that you do to celebrate, and I'm actually going to get to that in my notes, as how you celebrate your life. People with tattoos, a lot of times people say, oh my God, they got tattoos. Tattoos usually have a story to them. So why not first ask the person, if you can, what the story is behind their tattoo? And if you don't have the relationship where you can ask, maybe just at least consider, wow, this person is honoring somebody. More importantly, they're honoring themselves, because whatever that tattoo is, whatever it represents, is something special to that person. So look around again. Do that self-inventory. Why do you wear the jewelry you wear? Why, whether it's your rings, your necklace, your tattoos, why do you dress a certain way when you go into a certain place? All of that is a part of who you are and the message that you carry, and the fact that we all carry a piece of life with us wherever we go. So today's topic is smile, and I put an S on there because I also have another acronym for smiles, but it was inspired by a friend of mine. I told him I'm going to give her a shout out, Cynthia Keeler. Cynthia is down in Florida, and Cynthia sent me an inbox of a thing that said that I had an acronym for SMILE, where the acronym was See Miracles in Life Every Day. Smile, see miracles in life every day. And she got that from a page on Facebook called Positive Pix, P-I-X. And I want to make sure I give them that shout out, because it may be a page that you want to subscribe to or check out. And that quote also comes, by the way, from a group called verybestquotes.com. So as I give suggestions of where we can go to get our smiles, keep those in mind. But here's the other part of that makes me feel really good, and what we need to recognize is that what we emanate is what people receive. And I always say to you, and I don't forget this quote, is choose your messengers carefully and recognize that you are someone's messenger. So I appreciate that when Cynthia and a lot of my friends, thank y'all for all the love, I appreciate that when Cynthia and a lot of my friends see acronyms, they shoot me an email to say, here's an acronym. And I crack up laughing because I'm saying, yeah, I got one for that already. Okay. But it also makes me say, well, I guess I won't get to use that one. But, yeah, who are you that you come to people's mind? My second book that I wrote, by the way, is called Your Name Came to Mind. And it's about the fact that we are not in this world alone, and we can't do it alone. Something that you do, something that you say, who you are, brings your name to mind, and it blesses people. So when you bless people, accept that and recognize and enjoy the fact that you are a blessing. One of my acronyms that I have been used with my military all the time was FUN, F-U-N. Friends understand need. I speak with families going through the deployment cycle. And so as I'm saying to them how important it is to recognize the F's in our lives, focus, fun, friends, freedom, and faith. The fun is friends understand needs. And as families, especially going through the deployment cycle, need to create a network of friends who understand what they're going through. If you have military friends and their family, and they may have been going through the deployment cycle, find a way to offer some support. And it's tough, because a lot of times we look at their kids, say, oh, the kids look clean, they must be fine. But a lot of times the military families don't know how to ask for help, because they don't want to impose on people. So don't give them a phony, are you okay? And then when they say yes, you say, okay, good, I'm clear. Stop what you're doing and say, hey, what are you doing for dinner? Perhaps, or you know what, I watched this great movie, and had you thought about that? Find a way to help that family out. But more importantly, to make sure that they are recognizing that they're open to having that help. Think about it. All of us have a problem asking for help. It's not easy, because we let our pride get in the way. And a lot of times it's not a nasty thing. I'm not saying that, oh, he's too busy being proud. No, It's the fact that we let our pride get in the way because we're trying to not impose upon somebody else. So there's just a lot of things going on in life, y'all. And that's what fun is about. Friends understand needs. Recognize you have to keep building a circle of friendships. And what I did to my soldiers and my military family is I said, and then FUN also means fight unit negativity. Now, that wasn't mine. That was one of my airmen came up with that as we were going through the exercise. Fight unit negativity. Because don't automatically, by the way, think that our service members serve with a bunch of wonderful people who are just glad to have them in uniform next to them. They still go through some drama while they're abroad or wherever they're serving in deployment, because you've got people who come in with some negative stereotypes and biases based on how they've lived and how they've grown up. And so there's still some adjustment going on even in our military families as they're serving together. So, let's just all recognize that we're all in this together. And that's why we can come up with reasons to smile. So here's my first one for smile, SMILE. Share moments in life's experience. Share moments in life experience. See, we're all going through some storms. But a lot of times what we do is we share the storm once we get out. As like, okay, yeah, let me get the testimony now that I've made it through. Do you know what that is in the long run? It's actually a lack of faith. Because what happens is we're only willing to say we went through a hard time when we come out of it to show that we handled it. Share it while you're going through. Share it while you're going through. That's what faith is about. That's saying, you know what, I'm in a tough spot right now, but I plan to get through it. And I'll let you know that I'm having a tough time. And that's an easy thing to do. And I'm not knocking you if you're good at doing it. I'm very good at it. I had the blessing and the thought, and sometimes you do something and then you find out how good it was. And that's actually what I'm about to share with you. Is I found out how good this thing that I did was. I was driving down to Charleston and a rainstorm hit. And I mean, the water was coming down in sheets to where naturally everybody had to drive slower, 30, 25 miles an hour, whatever. And I just said, oh, wow, wait a minute. I quickly put on Facebook Live and I started and just held it up to the dashboard and drove and started talking about how I'm driving through a storm right now. And I started noticing as we go through a storm, what happens? We see that people around, number one, we caution, we slow down. Now think about applying this to your life. When we're going through a storm, we slow down and watch our actions very carefully. And then what we notice is that other people have slowed down. Because you're always in the storm with someone else. The cars ahead of me, I didn't know who was in that car and what storms they were going through. They might not have been experiencing the same thing as I was experiencing my car, but they were experiencing the same storm. How they were handling it was different. In my rearview mirror, the people behind me, I don't know how they were experiencing the storm. But guess what? I didn't spend a lot of time in my rearview mirror as I was going through the storm. I focused on going through. And see, sometimes that's what we don't do when we have a problem, a challenge. When we have a problem, a challenge, we're quick to look behind us. And, well, I don't think I did this before. And no, look ahead. Only check behind you to look at your track record. One of my favorite lines, look at your track record, not your lack record. See what you did before, and then focus on getting through that storm, because there's some new twists and turns ahead on this, because this is a new storm. And that's what we have to recognize. There's always going to be a new storm. One of the my favorite sayings that I got from an Air Force chaplain, he said, remember that the story of the three little pigs was not about what type of house you built. The story of the three little pigs was about the fact that the storm is coming. The storm is coming, and another one is coming after that. So it's okay to recognize that you're going through storms and that you've been through them. But look at what's going on around you as you go through the storm and find yourself a way to get through it. One of the things that I also did in terms of share moments and life experience, this past July 4th weekend, I had the joy of sharing in my good friend Pat Harris's 50th year family reunion. It was the Barnes Soul family reunion. You'll see the post on my Facebook page. 50 years they've been celebrating their family. I don't know anybody else that has a 50-year family reunion because they do this every year. Now, I know some people that have good family reunions, but sometimes a lot of people celebrate every 2, 3, or 5 years. They do it every single year. And it's a wonderful tradition. I even listened to one of the family members because they passed it on to the younger generations to coordinate. And Stacy said, what we're doing, and she was now talking to the younger nieces and nephews and grandkids. She said, what we're doing, we're hoping to sit where the elders are sitting right now and watch you put on the next family reunion years down the line, 10 to 15 years down the line. So you have to establish, the thing that we have to do in sharing our experiences and using our families is establish a legacy. Establish a legacy. Let your kids know what their job is going to be. A lot of times people go, oh, these damn kids of today. Y'all know how I like to say, these damn kids of today are related to the damn kids of yesterday. And so what we have to do is tell our kids what the legacy is. My family name, King, I make sure that I infuse my life, my life and my beliefs into my nieces and nephews. I got 22 nieces and nephews, and I love them. And so I find ways to let them know how I feel about our family and them. So let them know. You gotta let your kids know. Don't lump them in with the group of the kids that are on the news, because the media, come on, negative news sells. And that's another thing that's going to have a problem with our smiling, is getting caught up in the negative news. So take that extra time. You got to stop what you're doing, grown-ups, and spend some time with the kids. You don't have kids, you got nieces and nephews, you got neighbors, you got kids that you coach, you got somebody, in your neighborhood or in a connecting house, or a friend's child that looks up to you. So you've got kids in your life. Find a way to let them know the responsibility that they have. Another thing, what kind of traditions are you creating in your family? Create those traditions and let them know and pass it along. And check with them every now and then. One of the crazy ones my father had, if you don't know, my birth name is Ryspodii. 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 Let me see if I can type that in while I'm talking. Ryspodii. And so what my father used to say was, was that I had to have a son and name my first son by spelling my name backwards, which is Iidopsyr. Okay, that's my birth name is Ryspodii, and my father used to quiz me. Okay, how do you spell your name backwards? Because you're going to name your son like that. And I was so glad I didn't have a son. I had no plans of doing it, but I had to pass that quiz every single time. So I grew up learning how to spell my name backwards, Iidopsyr, which is adopsyr. And that was what we came up with. That was the tradition that he felt was important. So it's just like when people name their sons Junior or after somebody, what's your tradition? One of the things we do in my family also, my mother has been gone 10 years now, and so her nickname was Leah. So we do every now and then, we do Leah lines, where we text some of the lines that she used to use, and I get the whole family, as many people on the text message as possible, and they'll say, oh yeah, she used to say this, and then we text those back and forth. And what does it make us do? It makes us smile, because it's a way of everybody handles grief differently, but one of the things you want to do is try to bring those people that you've lost, bring them back into your life. Keep them there. We say it all the time. You're there, you're gone in physical, but you're always there in spirit. Enjoy the spirit. Bring in those moments that made you smile, and then go on and cry if you have to. You have to exercise all of your emotions, P.S., by the way. That's one of the ways you relieve stress, and that's one of the important components of smiling, is recognizing that sometimes you just have to cry. Because once you finish crying, you might end up smiling about, wow, I can't believe it, I just cried about that. So again, that's share moments in life's experiences. The second SMILE acronym I have is SMILE, something mellow, invoking love everywhere. Something mellow, invoking love everywhere. First of all, category, love, LOVE, let ourselves value everyone. Let ourselves value everyone. So think of that in terms of that. Something mellow, themselves and value everyone, that invokes love everywhere. You know, put some posts, you know, about your family, your friends, the similarities instead of the differences. You know, post things about that. While I was at the family reunion, one of the relatives, the cousins that I had met, they started talking about how when they were growing up, and this was in a place called McBee, South Carolina. Might not be on your map, but it's on mine now, because it's only 90 minutes south of Charlotte. But that's where she grew up. And one of the cousins, two of the cousins, they start talking about how when they were growing up, they used to hop on the freight trains that, you know, those move slowly. You especially know if you've been stuck in traffic where the trains are going and you have to wait. And they used to hop on those trains and go however far they wanted to go just for fun, and hop off and have contests, drop and roll, and doing just things like that. And so I'm sitting there listening to it, and I'm loving it because I was fascinated. I said, "Oh, and did you do this?" She said, her cousin, I think her name was Pam. She said, "Wait, you sound like you want to get on a train and hop off." So you want us to go down to the train yard and do it now? But I couldn't because I can't jump like I used to. But her and Steve were talking about that, and they had me cracking up. But what I said to her is, I said, one of the reasons I was so fascinated hearing about you riding those freight trains and hopping off is because in the motivational speaking business that I'm in, I'm always interested in looking for the similarities that people have in growing up and development. Because I don't look for the differences. I look for the similarities and the experiences. And I can't necessarily understand, you know, I've never been able to do the, you know, get on, because, you know, we see in the movies the hobos hop on the freight train and then jump off. You know, we've seen those type of things, but I've never really known anybody who was doing it for fun. And it made me think about how we had a train tunnel up at Riverside Park. Y'all New Yorkers, y'all with me? Those who grew up in Harlem, around where I did, we had up on in Riverside Park, they had an underground train thing. Because you see, we didn't have it in New York where it would stop traffic. It was, you know, over near the river. And we used to go in there and play, but we were also always a little afraid to go in there, that there might be a bum in there. You know, there might be somebody in there to rob you. And very rarely, extremely rarely, did a train come through. But one thing we certainly never thought about was hopping on that train and then hopping off, because we didn't know where the train went and came out. One of the things they had told me was that they knew that the train was going to take them to XYZ place, and they actually used it almost as an Uber, okay? But just, you know, what intrigues you, you know, and we can use Facebook for that. Is something mellow, invoking love everywhere. I give you a couple of sites that I use. I already mentioned the Positive Picks one. The group that Cynthia and I share is AATH, Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor. Go to that. Go to our Facebook page, and you'll see how there's just a lot of posts on there talking about using humor, and it just get different ways to get people to smile. This T-shirt is from our conference in Philadelphia. I think it was in 2015, 14 or 15, which makes me think about Barbara Grafstein. See, you know, once you start to do these things, you come up with reasons to smile. Because and Linda McNeil, because I think Linda got the shirts, and Barbara's one of the biggest supporters that I have. You know, a good friend of mine who's always talking about smiling in the T-shirts. So that's what you. So AATH is a good site to go on Facebook. Also, HeyUGLY. HeyUGLY. HeyUGLY, also HeyUGLY.com, is one of my associate. It's my favorite charity because I'm a silent partner in this, which was created by Betty Hefner, who it's a website for self-esteem for teens and tweens. So, you know, that's a good spot where, you know, because we need to look at some of the wonderful things that our teenagers are doing, our young people, instead of, again, listening to the news that knocks the stuff that they're doing. Look at some of the wonder. We got contests on there, acronym contests, stop bullying campaign. So if you want to look at something, some options and some resources for stopping bullying, that's a good place to go to. That's HeyUGLY. And then there's also Pondercentral, Ponder Central. A good friend of mine, Jeff Maziak, I hope I pronounced your name right. But Pondercentral, I go to them he sends out an inspirational message every morning, and I read it every morning. It's in my email, so that'll be another place you can go. I'll post all of these resources when this goes back up. But find something mellow that invokes love everywhere. That's another smile. So my final acronym on smile is SMILE, and then I'll add the S on this one, because it's someone must inspire love every day. Someone must inspire love every day. And then I say, be someone. See, you can be someone. You inspire love to somebody. Because again, as we're thinking about choosing our messages carefully, you're somebody's messenger. So inspire love in other people by what you do. Remember, it's not what people say, it's what they do that makes a difference. When someone hears your name, what comes to their face? Does a smile come to their face, or does a frown come to their face? When someone says my name, I'm blessed to know, because people have let me know. Then a smile comes to their face. Click a smile for me right now, y'all. But that's the thing that you want to do, is recognize that someone must inspire love every day, and you can be someone. You're somebody's someone. So let me give you a couple of three keys of ways to energize yourself and re-energize yourself towards smiling. 1, don't go to sleep having watched the news as the last thing on your mind. Don't go to sleep. Well, thank y'all. There's some smiles and some laughter. Don't go to sleep having watched the news as the last thing in your mind. When you're asleep, you're in a meditative state when you're lying down. So the last thing that went in is what you're going to be, is going to impact your dream. And maybe you don't remember all of your dreams every night, but it's going to be in there. So negative news sells. So that's what you hypnotize your spirit with before you went to sleep. Maybe that's why some people awake say they had a bad sleep or a rough night's sleep. They didn't wake up refreshed. So if you've got to watch the news, because I'm not saying don't watch the news, there's a lot of stuff going on. But after you watch the news, then watch something comical, 30 minutes or so. And by the way, even the things like the Late Show and those types of places, those can have some good fun in it, but sometimes they can have just a little bit of negativity. Based on what they're reporting on. But still, maybe they give you a fun way to twist something that you disagree with. So, try to make the last thing that you watch or put into your spirit before you go to sleep something fun, something to make you smile. And in fact, even once you lie down, smile. Smile so that you can remember that you smiled before you went to sleep. Hey, check this out. If you die in your sleep, maybe we'll find you with a smile already. And we won't have to get one of them fake ones from the mortician. Because sometimes the mortician don't put it. You ever been to a funeral where somebody looked like that? Doesn't look like a real smile. Yeah, yes, I jumped and went there because, come on, life is about life. We've got to find ways to get past the trials and tribulations. And death is one of the parts of life. Grieving is important. And so we can't talk about grieving if we're afraid to talk about death. You can't help somebody get through their grieving process if you're going to tiptoe around death. I know we've got the saying was, we'd say they passed away, they went on to a better place. But sometimes you need to just go on and say they died, and help somebody get through a tough time. It's not easy, y'all, but it's kind of what we need to do. So that's that's tip number 1. Don't watch the news and then lay down and go to sleep and meditate yourself into depression. And moving right into depression, my tip number 2 is from my good friend Heidi Hanna, Dr. Heidi Hanna. And she says, don't wake up and jump into the drama of the day. Don't wake up and jump into the drama of the day. Immediately checking your text message. Again, turning on the news. Checking your email right away. If you know what time you want to watch your news, wake up earlier so that you can start your day off with an ingestion of positive, spiritual, or inspirational news. Because there's also inspirational news. And then meditate, pray, read some affirmations. Before you get into the drama, because it's not going away just because we decide that we're not going to watch it. But Start out, you went to bed with something comical to freshen your spirit for the night. Start out with something that's going to make you smile and be ready for some bad news that's about to come in your day. There's going to be some trials or tribulations. So put your armor on. Put your armor on. And so, again, I thank my friend Heidi Hannah, and I believe that's in her book called Re-Energize. If it's not, it's maybe Refresh, Re-Energize, whichever, but look her up as well, because she's one of my great sources. In fact, what I do is one of the things that she suggests not to do, but it's kind of cool. I drink a cup of coffee as I'm reading my inspiration, because I've arranged that I wake up early enough to whether I'm reading the Bible or reading whatever I'm reading inspirational that day, I read it while I'm drinking a cup of coffee. She also actually does say that sometimes don't rush to get the coffee, because the caffeine high will push you into speed mode as well sometimes. But for me, it's mellowing, and I'm okay with it. And so, again, suggestions that you get from people on what to do are generic in most cases. Like I say, I like to live in a world. When I talk to my soldiers and service members, I always say, we're here to talk about research and real stuff. Because the research says, here's what people do. Here's what this type of person does. Birth signs, female, parents, husbands, wives, all this stuff is research. But the real stuff is how you use it. I don't like to fall a lot into research because I'm the diamond in the rough. So I'm always looking at what I can do. There's no money made in the power. You only make money outside. And so, and your success is not always inside, but it's outside. It doesn't negate being a part of a group. It recognizing that I have to be successful at who I am so I can add to the group. So find the pieces of advice that work for you. And again, my friend Heidi, she says, coffee can rush you into the day, but it's how you use things that makes a difference. So again, wake up and put something positive in your spirit first. And get your smile going so that it lasts you through the day, and it can go up and down. And so my final tip is to wink at yourself. Wink at yourself in the mirror. I wink at myself often. I don't do it every single day, but I do it often. And the morning is a great time to do it, just to say, you know what, you're all right. You got to go. You're going to have a great day. And you're going to have some tough times, because remember, the storms are coming. There's going to be some storms in your day. But because of who you are, because you know how to drive through the storm, recognize that everyone is working with you when you're going through a storm. That's the other thing you have to recognize. People are working with you. Remember, as I told you, I drove through that storm. The other cars were making real sure that they signal if they had to change lane, had their flashes on. People are working with you when you go through the storm. So wink at yourself and say, it's going to be okay. You got it going on. And I don't just do that in the morning. I do it throughout the day. Every now and then, if I walk past a mirror, walk past a storefront, and don't you do it when you walk past a storefront mirror window, you check yourself out. Check yourself out. Make sure that you don't have toilet paper on your shoe, okay? So check yourself out and enjoy yourself, and keep finding reasons to smile. I get to smile not just every Wednesday, but particularly on Wednesdays when I get to do this broadcast. Glue. Glue. God's love undoes everything. Not that God's love breaks things up, but it brings things together. It undoes the problems that we have. Wednesday is not hump day. It's not a day to get over. It's the day to bring the beginning and the end of the week together. So let Wednesday be your glue. And as you bring it together, recognize that you are a part of the glue. You make me smile, and thank God that I can make you smile. I'll be here to help you smile again next week. And notice I'm going to help you do it because you already got it going on. So thanks for all the little emojis that I've seen going across the page. I'm glad that I was able to get the technology right this time and get us up live and going while we could. It's a short week, y'all. And I did, in the announcing, I put, those people, because I know some people had the weekend, then they had to work on Monday, then they had the vacation day, and now they're back up. So good energy to you. So God bless you all. Keep smiling, and I'll see you next week. Have a safe week. Peace. And love. And certainly thank you to all our military service members and their families. God bless you all. Ciao.